I'm Chef Jasper, and today we're in the kitchen preparing an old Sicilian dish. Well, we say Sicilian, but really it's got a New Jersey name to it also. Crabs and pasta. And in New Jersey, where my father grew up, they would get all these crab legs and put them in a frying pan and smother them with tomato sauce and garlic and basil and just let it simmer, and then they would just put it over a big bowl of pasta and go at it. Well, I'm going to show you a real quick and easy version that I absolutely love, and I can guarantee that it's delicious. So let's just start off putting the pasta in our boiling water, because I'm telling you, this is going to cook pretty quickly. Well, this will cook probably about 8 or so minutes, and in the meantime, we'll get our sauce really cooking here. Let's just make sure that we keep checking on this pasta. We don't want it to stick. And of course, we want to make sure it's cooked al dente. So here we go. Have our frying pan, it's hot. A little bit of extra virgin olive oil, of course. And some chopped onions. Let's cook these down almost until they're translucent. We don't want to burn them. Now, another rule of thumb that you must abide by when you're cooking this dish, it has a lot of garlic in it, but we don't want to add the garlic until these onions are at least halfway cooked. So make sure we get enough olive oil over those onions. If you think it's a little too hot and quick for you, you can lower the heat and do it a little slower, but this is the way I cook. All right, give that pasta another stir. And to keep that water boiling, one of my little secrets, remember, you're putting a room temperature product into boiling water. What's going to happen? It stops boiling. So add a little salt and let the chemistry begin. And you'll see it starting to boil right away. All right. These onions are now cooking down. A lot of flavor in this room. But let's talk about the crab here. Look what I brought in. Oh my gosh, is that absolutely beautiful? So you can use the long crab legs if you want. These snow clusters are just perfect for it. A lot of meat in this also. Just off a few, look what I have. And keep those little claws, because we'll put them right in the pan and you can break open the shell while you're eating. Yes, that's kind of the fun part of it. I'll even put some whole long crab legs in here. But in the meantime, keep checking on these onions. Looks like a lot of onions, but that's okay, because it's not like your basic tomato sauce where you want it all pureed down. Now, normally I would say take the saute pan off the burner when we add the garlic, but I'm going to keep my eye on this, just making sure it doesn't burn. And here we go. Oh yeah. And you know what? If you think it's starting to burn a little too quickly, grab a little water from your pasta. Yes, take some of that pasta water. We're going to use some of that in the sauce anyway. It'll kind of calm things down a little bit. Now, I always tell everyone, do not add the spices or the fresh basil until the end, especially with basil and fresh herbs. But I have to tell you, right now we will add some red pepper. I have a heavy hand, a little calabrese style. Keep checking on this pasta here. And we're almost at the point where I'm going to add some brandy and some crabs to the pan. Yes. So I'm going to add a whole cluster right here to the pan. How about that? I'm going to add my crab meat to the pan. And then, this is my father's secret, and I'm telling you, it's one of the best. A little bit of brandy right on top of the pan. There you go. It just brings everything together. People always tell me, what do I smell in there? You know, it's kind of hard to identify brandy, but I know it's in there. All right, give it a nice turn. Check on our pasta. when I was growing up, and this is in my cookbook also, my mother used to always tell me you can always tell how the pasta's cooked. You would throw a piece of spaghetti against the wall. If it stuck, then it was ready. But we didn't do that at home. You know, she didn't really allow it, but boy, oh boy, that kept on my mind all these years. I wrote about it in the cookbook, and still today, I'll turn around and throw a piece on the wall. If I'm a guest at someone's home, I don't know. I think they think I'm a little crazy for doing that. But I can kind of tell when it's al dente. When we say al dente, we say that means dente is tooth, so tooth to tooth. But you can still see this is not even at that point yet. All right, here we go. At this point, let's add our tomatoes. Yes, the tomatoes are whole. I love cooking with the whole tomatoes. Makes a big difference. And look here. Just kind of chop those up by hand. Is that perfect or what? And now we start bringing everything together. If you want more tomatoes, go ahead. Do not be shy with the tomatoes. You can always make a little extra sauce. But just notice how I have that crab in there and I'm trying to being gentle with it. This is picture perfect. You can just imagine how it tastes at this point. All right. A little bit of sugar. Italians love sugar in the sauce. You know, I think it dates back to a couple hundred years ago when the tomatoes were very, very bitter from San Marzano, Italy. So we still like a sweeter sauce. Of course, we're going to need a little salt, not much. Remember the crab, the seafood always gives a nice little salty flavor to it. Just a touch of cracked pepper. I don't waste any of the olive oil. I kind of always say we finish the dish with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Let it continue to cook down. Put a lid on this and it'll really go a lot quicker, but I have to test this now for seasoning. Oh, absolutely perfect. At this point, some fresh torn basil. Not all of it. I'll add the rest when I add my pasta. This is one of my signatures. I just love basil in my sauce. And get our pasta. Don't worry about draining all that water. We want that in the sauce. How about this? Can you tell me an easier dish in less than 5 minutes that you can prepare that everyone will absolutely love? And I'm telling you right now, it's a showcase dish. Who's gonna say no to that? Those beautiful crabs, those legs already cut up in there. Add more crabs if you want. Just put a lid on here for maybe a couple of minutes at this point right now. And a little of that pasta water will help thicken it. Yes, why pasta water? How will it thicken it? The starch from the water. Finish with the rest of our basil, and you have a perfect dish that everyone will absolutely love and be asking for seconds. I can guarantee that. Here we go. Jasper's crab and pasta. This is one dish I would be honored to serve my family. Brought to you by Hen House Markets.